So just when you think things can't get crazier, they do. On March 15th, a team of researchers, including Filippo Bionde, came across what appears to be a massive structure underneath the Giza pyramid. And this structure would extend 2 kilometers deep underneath the pyramid. And this is wild. This is one of the most life-changing and mind-blowing discoveries ever, if true.
Aquí están los pilotes.
And right now, everyone on social media is talking about this.
You are literally not going to believe what they've just found underneath the Khafre, the middle pyramid in Giza.
We're not going to believe what they found, not only inside the Great Pyramids, but underneath the Great Pyramids. This discovery is going to change everything that we know about, well, everything.
What has just been announced in relation to the pyramids at the Giza plateau and the plateau itself is so incredible and narrative shattering that I have been sitting here for the last hour trying to wrap my head around the implications of what we were just told.
The implications of this, if real, are huge. There's a bunch of crazy theories that the pyramids were not built by humans, that there's advanced and ancient technology that was used to build not only the pyramids, but a bunch of ancient structures. And
described first by Christopher Dunn as a Crookes tube, perhaps an electrical bulb. And again, snake throughout every culture, from Asia through Africa, represents electricity, kundalini energy. Here, it looks like it's what somebody said, a condenser, because it's working with electricity. And again, we're not talking wireless electricity, because it is plugged in. We have a creature here. We don't know what this creature is, but the important thing is what the texts say. This is a warning that this is a knowledge, a power that can be abused. So we say...
And if this structure, this massive structure under the pyramids are real, then this could change the entire history as we know it. So I decided to dig deeper into this, and I came across information that may suggest that this is all fake to push a narrative, to discredit researchers, and I came across videos, articles, and information that suggests that this could be real, that there's maybe something or more than just something underneath the Giza plateau. But what is it? Now there's a couple of strange things that I also came across. I found out that the entire topic is already being censored all over Reddit, where every post about the recent structures found beneath the pyramid are being deleted. I also found out that the community notes on Jay Anderson's post on Twitter, which has 10 million views, it has been removed. The community notes said that the information was fake, and now it's been completely removed. So let's start with the basic, and that's where it all begins on March 19th. With Project Unity on Twitter, and he says, groundbreaking findings on the Giza Pyramid complex could rewrite human history.
So this is pretty much breaking news because the new findings were announced on the 16th of March at a press conference held by the team who was studying the Great Pyramid of Giza with a non-invasive technology that was first developed by Filippo Bionde and Corrado Malanga, called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography. So this was used to explore the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. And this method leverages the analysis of micro movements typically generated by background seismic activity to achieve a high resolution full 3D tomographic imagery of the pyramid's interior and subsurface components. The recent findings from deploying this technology are nothing short of mind-blowing, because what's been discovered is that there are huge structures coming down from the base of the pyramid deep into the bedrock, in fact over 600 meters deep, which then connects to structures that extend up to 2 kilometers below the surface of the ground. 2 kilometers.
So at this point, there's a lot of people coming up with the craziest theories that maybe this is some sort of battery or some sort of harnessing system that the pyramids had to harness energy, or even an underground city of some sort.
Internal structures connected to the base of the pyramid and extending deep, deep down. This is what we know so far. Utilizing high-resolution radar images from Capella Space and Umbra, which are 2 private companies that specialize in satellite-based synthetic aperture radar imaging.
Yep. Checks out. Cutting-edge space systems, from refined mission solutions to Bassin-class data. Okay. SAR data. There you go.
This has allowed researchers to create a 3D model of the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, this model has revealed a previously unknown chamber with 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof, which in of itself is an architectural design unlike any previously documented in the Giza Pyramid. But the most shocking discovery lies beneath the surface. Below ground level, radar tomography has identified vertical cylindrical structures extending for hundreds of meters beneath the pyramid. There are 8 of these cylindrical wells arranged in 2 parallel rows, descending to an astonishing depth of 648 meters.
So I did find the original file, and this is it. This is what we're talking about. This is the official press release by Corrado Malanga, Armando May, and Filippo Biondi, which a lot of people are categorizing this as fake, and others are saying that this is the real deal, but we are going to find out. This is the Khafre Project document, an abstract of the conference on March 16th. SAR technology that was used to scan the pyramids, and apparently they found a bunch of chambers that were uncategorized before this scanning system was used, and these are the cylindrical structures that were found beneath the pyramid. As you can see, the 8 cylindrical structures identified in our tomographic images appear as vertical wells, hollow inside, surrounded by descending spiral pathways. Would you look at that? And this is the base of the pyramid, I guess. This is the extent. This is wild. Look at that. This is how long these cylindrical structures are. And I guess that this is something that they found also. This is amazing. And what appears to be, I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like non-natural structures, as they state. What is this? Is this an entire city down there?
Even more intriguing, at the base of these structures are 2 massive cubic formations measuring approximately 80 meters in diameter. The tomographic data suggests that these are vertical wells with intricate spiral pathways. Now, this design not only implies a functional purpose, but also a level of sophisticated engineering that completely blows the dynastic Egyptian model out of the water.
So again, this stumbles across a theory that a lot of researchers and archaeologists have, including Brian Forrester, that the Egyptians did not build the pyramids.
We don't talk about much. We see this, the tunnel itself is all carved in the bedrock.
Right.
So imagine if we turned off this light now, we're not going to be even able to see our palms right ahead of us.
Right.
So imagine that you are actually doing this, the challenge of this work in the dark. What you're gonna be using? A flame? There is no even markings of anything dark. And there are no openings in the ceiling.
This specific video uploaded by Brian Forrester 10 years ago, he goes over to Saqqara, Egypt, and in there he goes to the Serapeum. Actually, he goes underground, the Serapeum. Now, the Serapeum in Egypt is an ancient underground burial complex near Saqqara, and it's supposedly dedicated to the sacred Api bulls. The lid of the tombs weigh approximately 100 tons, and they are located 12 meters underground inside the Serapeum. And there's this complex systems of tunnels carved into the bedrock. Thing is, things get really strange and well engineered inside the Serapeum. Let's just say too perfectly engineered.
To be other devices, I believe, in this place, which we can see that there is a carving in the wall to house something else. I believe it could be a false door, or what we know as the false door, which is another device that can possibly regulate frequency and sound.
There's also the fact that the lids itself weighs at least 50 tons each. We would need at least 2,000 men to drag these things down. How was that done in the dark? There are no markings on the walls of fire or any type of tool that they used to light up the place. And there's not enough space for them to drag these things down. So how was it done? One of the theories that Brian Forrester and many other archaeologists have is that the Egyptians found the pyramids the way they were and added hieroglyphs and other things to rewrite history and make it look like they built it. And inside of the Serapeum, there are certain things that may actually prove such a thing actually happened.
If they had the technology to be able to do the cutting, moving, shaping, and finishing of the box, then they would have had the capability of elegant and eloquent carving of the hieroglyphics, and that's not the case. So clearly what you're looking at is you're looking at a super ancient series of these boxes, and later they were discovered by the dynastic Egyptians in situ, underground here, and the dynastic Egyptians carved the hieroglyphs on the surface.
Well, it really, Brian, doesn't require a professional to realize the difference between how sharp the cuts are and the surface is, and how crude the writings are. Because in cases like what we see over here, for example, this is a marking of a primitive tool that could not even create a straight line on the surface.
Right.
That's so clear. It doesn't require even a professional in machining to see the difference in these surfaces.
There's also the Sphinx in Egypt, where there's this crazy theory that there's an underground city of some sort underneath it, and it was supposedly accessed by certain people and archaeologists in the past through Shaft D. The shaft's entry is nowadays forbidden, and the access has been completely blocked, even though some people have tried to access it, and here's a video of such a thing happening.
The Sphinx has been the subject of fascination for centuries. People have climbed it, scanned it, and even dug tunnels into it. But most people are still left wondering, what is inside the Great Sphinx of Giza? There are several known shafts or passages, which lead directly inside. The first shaft, Shaft A, can be found on the head of the Sphinx. The hole measures approximately 5 feet square and nearly 6 feet deep. Today on the mouth of the hole is an iron trap door, blocking its entry. The next shaft is Shaft C. It sits on the back of the Sphinx, and it's a square shaft, which is said to lead to a dead end. However, the footage you'll see in a moment will disprove that entirely. And Shaft D is where it gets interesting. This shaft goes much deeper. It appears that once inside, at least the back of the Sphinx is in fact hollow. But again, this shaft appears to hit a dead end.
And here's the video by Dieselpunk Cummings 3 years ago of them actually going inside this Shaft D, which supposedly leads to a hollow part of the Sphinx that, again, supposedly leads to this underground massive space underneath it.
Found some more iron staining here on the ground. So there was definitely water in this enclosure at one point.
This is them going into Shaft D.
What do you see, Adrian?
I see that. Need to go over there. Please. No. What do you see, Adrian? I see that. Need to go over there. Please.
Yeah, it's been blocked. Look at that.
Okay, so that's a dead end. Here we are under the Sphinx. In one of the forbidden holes.
So what's really weird is that both entrances to these shafts have been completely blocked. It's not a dead end. Someone decided to block them for whatever reason. So it might just be that this new find by Filippo Biondi of these underground structures in the Giza plateau maybe are not that far-fetched.
This is not all. This is the beginning of it. Not only that, at the very base of the pyramid, like ground zero of the pyramid in the center, they have found 5 of these kind of stacked chambers, which are identical, look like they're kind of identical in size and form as the king's chamber of the Khufu pyramid, the one next door. 5 of these chambers just chilling in the middle of the pyramid, and then 8 cylindrical, massive underground structures that go deep down. And what is under that? I'll show you. So 4 of these cylindrical structures dropping deep down into the earth, they go into 2 square sort of chambers.
So because of the shape of this thing, which seems to be coiled and cylindrical, there's a lot of people saying that this could be some sort of energy battery or harnessing machine or something like that. There's also others saying that this could be an underground city of some sort that was covered by sand at some point in time. There's a very interesting video by the Y-Files where he explains neatly how it is very possible that the Egyptian pyramids, the Giza pyramids, are actually a free energy device.
Nikola Tesla believed that he could harness the energy from inside the Earth and transmit that power wirelessly around the world. His early experiments were successful, but his research mysteriously vanished after his death. There is no evidence left of Tesla's wireless power technology. Or is there? For years, we were taught that the Great Pyramid of Giza was a tomb for a king. It wasn't.
If this is the case, it will make a lot of sense to why there are many chambers that are blocked. The access to a lot of tunnels is completely forbidden. It would also make sense to why there's a lot of people trying to control this narrative and say that this new find from Filippo Bionda is fake. Now we're going to get to that in just a few moments, and we're going to take a look into if this is really fake or not. But as people dig deeper into this, there are more things that they're finding. In 2024, this account posted this very interesting picture on Twitter. 190 miles east of Catalina Island on the ocean floor and 13 miles long. Look at that. That does not look like it's a natural shaped object, does it? Now what you're looking at is the ocean floor seen from satellite imagery. This is coming in from Google Earth. And as you can see, it seems like we have this very bizarre shaped structure. Actually, it's very symmetrical. It doesn't look like it's a natural mountain or anything like that. And just next to it, 2 pyramid-shaped mountains. Very perfectly shaped, actually. So whatever this thing is, it doesn't look like it's a natural formation. And there's a bunch of those all over the world. So something may have happened in the past. We know nothing about it. There's also this article that was posted on September 7th, 2024. And it says, China's super radar detects plasma bubble over the pyramids in Giza. So there's a powerful LARID radar in China that can detect plasma bubbles in Earth's upper atmosphere. So in this article it states, plasma bubbles can have a significant impact on modern warfare. And there have been many related studies supported by military forces worldwide. And with the aid of the world's most powerful radar of its kind, Chinese scientists have detected plasma bubbles appearing over both the Egyptian pyramids and the Midway Islands almost simultaneously. So the idea that the Egyptian pyramids may actually be projecting or harnessing energy isn't that far-fetched.
For the first time ever, scanning technology has been used on pyramids, and the results are quite surprising. The preliminary results of the Scan Pyramids project indicate an anomaly in the 4,500-year-old Great Pyramid of Khufu.
Whatever's going on here, it was also detected by Chinese radar. And once again, the Y-Files neatly explains how he believes that these Egyptian pyramids, the Giza pyramids, may actually be some sort of power source.
Small chambers, narrow shafts, no markings at all. The way the pyramid was built and the materials used to build it suggest it had a different purpose. The king and queen's chambers were built with granite that is 85% quartz. The tunnels and passageways are also lined with quartz-rich granite. Pressure was applied to all this granite. It would generate a tremendous amount of electricity, turning the pyramid into a giant power plant. One of the most compelling cases comes from Christopher Dunn. He believes the process starts in the subterranean chamber. Below the pyramid are aquifers. As water moves through the underground cavities, sound waves are created. The frequency of these waves resonate with the Earth's natural vibration. As those waves move up through the pyramid, a process is used to magnify, focus, and convert the sound into energy. The Queen's Chamber was used for a chemical reaction that created hydrogen, and there's substantial proof of this. There are 2 interior shafts that lead to the Queen's Chamber. The northern shaft has traces of hydrochloric acid. The southern has traces of hydrated zinc chloride. Combining these 2 chemicals creates a volatile reaction that generates hydrogen, a lot of hydrogen. This hydrogen gas would flow from the Queen's Chamber through the horizontal passage and into the Grand Gallery. The Grand Gallery is also made of granite. As the hydrogen gas builds up, the pressure compresses the granite, creating electricity. This electricity also ionizes the air, increasing conductivity. Within the Grand Gallery were 27 or 28 pairs of resonators that would vibrate and emit sound. The hydrogen atoms would organize themselves into waves in sympathy with the sound waves of the gallery. These sound waves further excite the stone, creating even more electricity.
So let me check this out. Okay, so I found this over here, and in 1998, Christopher Dunn wrote a book called The Giza Power Plant. However, in a chemical diagnosis, they found sulfuric acid, not hydrochloric acid. But still, chemistry suggests that hydrogen gas could be created from chemicals found in both the southern and the northern shafts, but it could also be produced from each shaft alone. So this theory isn't that far-fetched.
The next piece of evidence is the pyramid's ability to focus EM energy. In 2018, scientists used radio waves at different frequencies to see if the Great Pyramid would interact with electromagnetic waves of a resonant length. Their experiments proved that in a resonant state, the pyramid can concentrate electromagnetic energy in the internal chambers as well as under its base. Resonance in the pyramid can be induced by radio waves with the lengths ranging from 200 to 600 meters.
Wait. Okay, so there you go. This is in 2018. Chambers in Egypt's Great Pyramid concentrates radio waves.
The closer to 200 meters, the more dramatic the effect. A year after that, in 2019, Eric Wilson published a paper called A Large-Scale Thermal Acoustic Generator. The paper describes how, when granite and other rocks are vibrated, electrons will migrate through the rock and up to the surface. By combining science and music, the builders of the pyramid created a power-generating machine tuned to the natural harmonic of the Earth's vibration that primarily comes from the tidal energy created by the moon's gravity. This technology, created thousands of years ago, could generate unlimited clean energy. But how did they get the energy out? That brings us back to Tesla. His Wardenclyffe Tower was built on top of an aquifer, with copper and iron rods extending down into the water. When electricity was sent into the tower, it was to be transmitted around the world through the atmosphere. The pyramid is also built on an aquifer, and copper pipes and iron rods have recently been discovered there. If the caps...
Well, not only copper pipes and iron rods, but supposedly these huge structures that go 2 kilometers deep into the bedrock. Now, if this is real, and for now, it is not 100%, but if it is, this would change absolutely everything we know about the Egyptians, the pyramids, and free energy.
This has been described first by Christopher Dunn as a Crookes tube, perhaps an electrical bulb. And again, snake throughout every culture, from Asia through Africa, represents electricity, kundalini energy. Here, it looks like it's what somebody said, a condenser, because it's working with electricity. And again, we're not talking wireless electricity, because it is plugged in. We have a creature here. We don't know what this creature is, but the important thing is what the texts say. This is a warning that this is a knowledge, a power that can be abused.
So apparently, there could be a chance, a great chance actually, that these builders, the builders of the pyramids, knew something that we don't. And I guess at the fact that this Chinese satellite using radar technology found plasma bubbles on top of the Giza pyramids may actually prove that yes, there's something going on there in terms of energy. Now there's a couple of reasons why people think this might be fake. One of them is it is not peer reviewed, so it is not official yet. And there's another reason to why people think this might be fake. I know they're talking about the fusion of techniques, but everything I have read suggests that the SAR technology that they use to scan it can resolve to about 40 to 50 meters deep. So 2 kilometers down seems like a huge advancement. And unless they're using some sort of advanced SAR technology, it would make sense that no, they weren't able to scan that deep. However, there are a bunch of people who think this might be real, and for several reasons. One of them is, Turkey has several large underground cities. I see zero reason why Egypt can't be full of them too. Ethan says, honestly, this stumbled me upon something vastly more interesting, the shaft of Osiris. It's somehow under 100 meters of bedrock. Talk to anybody who works at construction, bedrock is something we can't even barely get through today. So apparently it's not that impossible that there's some sort of massive structure underneath the Giza pyramid. Not only that, this document hasn't been officially peer-reviewed like this one has. This, for instance, is the original document released in 2022 by Filippo Biondi, and in it they do not mention these underground structures. However, they do mention the existence of several chambers within the pyramid. But if this document gets peer-reviewed, and if it is proven that it exists, that this structure exists, and it's possibly some sort of free energy device, it could mean a lot of things. One of them is it possible that this could explain how the original builders of the pyramid actually built these massive structures? Is this technology that they had the reason why they went missing, why they disappeared? Is it possible that if this is indeed a free energy device, is it possible that this is the reason this knowledge is being suppressed in today's world? And would it change history as we know it and our future? What do you think? Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.